do it, dude, because the longer we sit here, the longer we're just gonna wonder
Yeah,
what
talk
are
about
we
your
gonna do
trip
next.
home. Essentially, you bought an RV for what was it, like $8,000?
9,000 Canadian, which I believe in turn goes to 7,300 USD. Now your boy was.
What was the brand of RV?
It was a
People know.
Chevy, which
Yes,
when I saw it,
sir.
dude, it was a Chevy. Now I will, before we get into the story at all, dude, I'm going to give a massive shout out to the 350, which is probably the most reliable engine or the household name engine of the Chevy, the GMC Chevy, whatever it is. This is a carbureted engine. 350 is a carbureted engine that you can get into a fuel injected situation. It's not what I'm going to talk about. That engine itself, there was a couple hiccups along the way. Nothing had to do with the engine. Everything else had to do with other parts failing out on me. But that engine held strong for 2,371 miles, uphill, downhill, big twists and turns, 55-mile-an-hour crosswinds in South Dakota. That engine held up and went strong for me, and I can't thank them and Chevy enough for not only in the 76 bringing us an amazing vehicle that everyone is going to love to camp in, but also a vehicle they thought, hey, in about 44 years, some little dipshit's going to go put this out and try to go across country. I want to make sure he's going to be all right. So shout out to Chevy one more time.
Should we have a moment?
Yeah.
Moment of silence for the Chevy, greatest brand of all time.
Of all time.
Let's do it, boys.
So I'm staying in Lake Country, BC. All right. The main lake there is called the Okanagan Lake. The Okanagan is home to a very mysterious creature called the Ogopogo. And there's actually a $2 million bounty to anyone that can find the Ogopogo. Such a high bounty indeed that the Japanese, just all of them, came over and put a submarine in the water just to try to find the Ogopogo. No signs, but there are still pictures of this day. So if you're out there in Lake Country, go hunt away, my people. Yep. This is one of the deepest, longest lakes in North America, not including the Great Lakes. It is a fantastic, fun time. Your boy is right on the Okanagan Center. That's a road that connects. It is right next to the lake. And on the other side is hills and mountains and beautiful scenery. I am cruising down on a road going left and right on about a 35 kilometers per hour. So those of you that's doing the math, that's like 10 miles an hour. I should move slow as hell over there, dude. It's wild. I hit this hard right corner. I look off in the distance and I see a beam of light flash through the trees. It's about 2:30 p.m. And I see this gorgeous van sitting in front of me. It's shadow everywhere and it's just highlighting this Manila with an orange streak and brown streaks around it van. And this glorious thing, as I look there, I go, damn, everybody in Canada either has a Winnebago or is saving up for a Winnebago. It's kind of like the bar mitzvah for people in Canada. Like when you become a man, that's when you have your camper. I look at it, I'm like, hey, I got to immerse myself in this culture. I do the same thing when I was living in Arizona, went to Michigan. I got a little a northern accent about me, came down to the South, tried to put a little South little twang in my voice. And now I'm in Canada. What can I do? How can I fit in the most? It's buy a camper. Lucky for me, this beautiful piece of machinery was for sale. I cruise up, I go up on the hill, I go into the guy's driveway, I knock on it, and the man's name is John. I say, how much for the van? He goes, it's $9,000. I said, in my head, what a sucker. I go through, this thing is an absolute time capsule. 76, and you think shag carpet, you think of the green and brown and oranges. In the interior, it is everything and more you would think. Talking about flower wallpaper, it is just an absolute beauty of a time capsule. You walk in there and you say, my grandparents probably fucked in something like this. And that gives you a warm little fuzzy feeling in your heart, doesn't it? I look at the man, I shake his hand, I say, I'll see you back there tomorrow. Now there's a whole nother story about how my wife tried to trick me and making me think it got sold when they did a horrible job selling it. I ended up catching her on it. Long story short, $9,000, didn't even try to heckle the man down. I bought the van. 81,000 miles that thing is. And you guys are probably going, well, too, it's in Canada. It's probably made in Canada. It's probably got kilometers. Canada didn't go to kilometers until 1983, ladies and gentlemen. So this van is at 81,000 miles per hour. I cruise on down to K-Town. That's what I call it. K-Town is Kelowna. It's about 200,000 people. It's got good vibes. It's got a nice little hippie vibe about it. There's also a bunch of skids running around there, skater kids, a lot of lake vibes. People are just having a good fucking time out there. It is an absolute blast. I think the boys would really enjoy going out to the bars and have a nice little pita pit over there or something like that. Little Cactus Club lettuce wraps, which absolutely will. You, dude. Well, absolutely you. So I bring this down to this dude named Chrissy. He's working at a Napa auto shop. I say, Chrissy, I need you to help me out, buddy. I need to get this engine all dialed in because I'm driving at 2,371 miles. He says, I don't got nobody open for about 2 months. Sorry, bud. Guess what, dude? Your boy doesn't give up on no. Your boy just takes no as a maybe, and we keep on trudging forward. Fast forward 15 minutes later, Chrissy's shaking my hand saying, hey, how can I help you? He tells me he'll take the van. He'll make sure everything is dialed in. New spark plugs, new bands, oil change, the complete tune-up. You need new tires. It's on a dually, which means there's 6 tires. So we're going to throw 6 tires on that boy for you. Now, the next thing going in my head is, it's nice out here. There's not a lot of adversity in this weather. What does Taylor need to do next? That is get an AC unit put in his van. I take the van. I got the windows rolled down. I got the little, on the old school boys, they have like a little triangle, like an obtuse angle. You turn them so it gives you a nice little vent right in the crotch region. I put that boy on Highway 93 and I cruise back up to Lake Country from K-Town. That's about 25 minutes away. There's a place called Voyager. I go into Voyager. They give me the same old song and dance. Hey, bud, we can't do this for you. We're booked out into August. We're booked out into this and that. Your boy doesn't take no as no. He takes it as a hard maybe. We start talking, wheeling and dealing. About 15 minutes later, they say to me, what can we do for you, bud? They end up putting a 9,300 BTU AC unit into my van. Now, those 9,300, those of you who are like big AC buffs, I know the 11,000 is a big one and the 13,000 is a big one and the 9,300 is more of a unique low profile type of deal. Your boy, hey, when you're beggars, you can't be choosers. I'm a cake eater myself, but I couldn't in this situation. So these cats get me the 9,300, costs a little extra because it's a more of a unique style. They throw in a Cummins generator in the back. By the way, shout out Cummins. Absolutely unbelievable. I know it's a product, so fuck you, but Cummins, they did a great job on their diesel engines. They also do a great job on their generator. That thing kept me going for a while. I bring it all back. We get this thing done. Your boy is leaving on a Sunday. I think, you know what? If I can do this 35-hour drive, which is driving straight, by the way, no stops or nothing. If I can do that in 48 hours, I'll be happy. Well, I don't know if it was God. I don't know if it was a voice over my shoulder. Maybe it was my wife repeatedly saying, hey, Taylor, you're probably not going to make it in 48 hours. I decide to myself, I'll leave Saturday, give it a buffer so I know I can work out a little bit. My chef, my friend, Jason Russell, says to me, I've never traveled cross country. I'd love to do that with you, bud. I said, but come on. I'm going to need somebody. Your boy Loki gets scared of the dark anyway. So, I mean, if I'm sleeping at night, I'm being nervous. Jason jumps on with me. We got a whole plan. Things are not about to go the way I wish they went. We get on the road. Now, those of you who don't know anything about the Northwest of the United States and I guess the Southwest of Canada, very treacherous. You're going up hills and inclines that no one has ever seen. It's ridiculous. You got big grades. Semi trucks are gearing down and doing all their 14 gears bullshit they do. I'm on the road. I'm going up towards Big Sky. Nope, that's in Montana. What is this place called? It's a ski resort just outside of K-Town, about 25 minutes. I go and I hit the road and I'm going through Rutland, which is my personal favorite part of all of K-Town. I get on the road. I'm going up an incline. The speed limit is about 120 kilometers an hour, which for those of you wondering, 60 miles an hour. I am hitting this incline at barely 35 miles an hour. Barely, dude. And I'm fucking giving her. After about 10 miles of doing that, we finally plateau, level off, and head our way down. Takes me about 3 hours to get to the border. For anyone who is driving a normal vehicle, it takes them about 2 hours to get there. I run a stop sign going into the border. Now, this gentleman, his last name was Hill or something like that. Very short individual. He had the nice little cul-de-sac going on, had a strong lisp on him. Had a real strong lisp where you almost couldn't take him serious at first. But he tells me, slow down right now. Gives me the big stop sign. He starts thinking, I think this man's going to be an asshole to me. I'm at the border. We start playing the game like, who are you? How do I get to know you? And your boy, I Wikipedia, you know, I put it on the man. Told him, hey, listen,
what do you put the Wikipedia on?
No, I didn't. He goes, what are you doing in the States? I go, oh, I'm going back to Tennessee. He goes, what do you do in Tennessee? I go, I play professional football. I play professional football. He's like, no way, that's so thick. And so I get out of the van. I turn the van off. He walks around the corner and gets in the camper. He's like, do you mind if I look around? I know those of you who deal with the police on a regular basis goes, Taylor, you know your rights. Don't let him look around. Your boy ain't got nothing to hide, homie. Jump on in there, bub. If you want to join the road too with us, we could always use somebody to ride through. So he gets in there. He's looking through. But at this point, he's more excited about the fact that I play professional football. So we're going to talk about that for 15 to 20. Your boy goes to start his van. Whoops-a-daisies. The van doesn't fucking start. He comes and but this guy's also a mechanic. That should have been right then and there the moment where I said, probably should head back to Lake Town or K Town and call it a day. Not me. I thought, just as minor bump in the road, let's keep her going. So I finally get the vehicle started. I'm heading towards Spokane, Washington. I'm going where, Spokane, Washington, right into that small sliver of Idaho. And then I have to go down through Montana into Bozeman and then to Billings and then so on and so forth. We'll get there as we go. As I'm going up towards Spokane, I hit a 10-mile, 8% grade, which is not very much at all. Semi trucks are absolutely wisping by me like it's nothing. I'm getting wind vortexed into the corner, wondering, am I going to even fucking make it out of this, bud? All of a sudden, VANessa decides that she no longer wants to run for a little bit. She's going to take a nice 5 to 10. So I start puttering, and the peak of the mountain, I can literally see where it plateaus, is 1/10 of a mile away, because now we're back in the States. I can stop using kilometers. I get off on the rail guard, and me and Jason start making lunch. Me as in Jason starts making lunch. It's absolutely beautiful outside. It's the scenery is incredible, and I'm thinking she's just overheated. She'll be fine. Everything is good. 30 minutes goes by, 40 minutes goes by, so on and so forth. You're like, holy fuck, dude, this is a long time. Is this gonna work? Finally, crank it. She goes. I rip it down. We get through Spokane without an issue in the world. We keep going through Idaho. Your boy drives all the way to Bozeman, Montana by 4 a.m. I'm feeling good about what's going on. I know the treacherous roads are slowly going away at this point. But after you get past Billings, you're really starting to hit that plains territory. So in my mind, those boys are home free. I'm in Bozeman. I've seen Yellowstone. I want to have a good time. Me and Jason take a walk. We in the morning, get about 3 hours of sleep, decide to go to a motel, pay about $150 for a room just to get a nice little shower in. Later finding out, for those of you who are doing cross-country drives, if you go to Pilots or a Love's gas station, you can literally like grab a ticket that says like you can take a shower. So there's 150 bones out the window. I think VANessa is doing an absolute
No, that's a good tip.
Fantastic job driving.
Pilots and Loves, baby.
Shout out Loves for real. I'm a Loves guy. VANessa is doing a fantastic job driving through the town. People are giving the eye like, holy shit, what a fine piece of machinery. I start to get on the road. There is a town between Bozeman and Billings called Big Timber. Occupation's probably 17 people. We are driving. All of a sudden, we start hitting a hill. Woo, woo, woo. She's not giving us any love at all. So I pull over to the side. There's one house, looks like within 10 miles, and it's terrifying. Trespassers will be shot, blah, 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 don't know, soliciting, all this stuff. So the idea of going and knocking on this guy's door and asking for some sugar is probably out of the question at this point. I think it's overheated. Not a car guy. We all looking down the barrel of a gun knowing at this point it's probably the gas pump. I didn't know that at the time. Now I do. It's not going. It's not going. Finally, she turns back on. We start cruising. We get to Big Timber. Big Timber is about 3 gas stations and a taxidermy store. I would have been more excited except for the taxidermy store was closed because it was a Sunday. I'm at the gas station. There is a shady massage parlor right in the corner. And then on the other side, there's like a gift shop that sells a bunch of like iron forged stuff, which I thought about buying. We are broken down at this pump at this point. VANessa wants nothing to do with the drive anymore. She's tapped out. She's done. I'm angry as all get out because I'm like, is this really how the rest of my day is going to go? In my opinion, I'm getting to Rapid City, South Dakota before the end of the night. That wasn't happening. 3, 4, 5 hours go by. As we're hanging out, cars keep going and going, coming and going. However, there's a bunch of motorcycles still sticking around. Then these dudes start coming out with vests that say bad sevens on the back. Now, these dudes that have bad sevens, I'm walking the gas station, I'm getting my Funyuns and some bean dip, trying to make it through the entire day. These boys are staring me down like either I'm a hot piece of ass or I might be a threat to their gang. Either way, your boy's getting fucked one way or another. I'm very nervous right now.
Show them your 77 jersey?
Nope, did not show them nothing.
Like, hey, I wear 7s too, boys.
Dude, they pull up. I'm sitting at this gas pump, and the bad sevens right up their motorcycles around the van. And I'm sitting in the van, it won't start. And they're just staring at me. And I don't know what to do. So I did what any good Christian would. I put my hands on that steering wheel and I just faced forward, acted like they were not there for about 5 to 7 minutes. No joke, 5 to fucking 7 minutes, which is a long time. And then finally, they laughed and drove away. I am like, probably should get the fuck out of here, dude. Now, with a carbureted engine, when you need to help start it, there's a spray you can use. You put it into the air filter. When you do that, it helps the ignition start getting the gasoline to the carburetor into the engine, which helps everything move. So I finally, for whatever reason, see this. It says help start. So I grab it. I spray it in the air filter. Bang, bang, boys. We are out of there. I'm about 37 minutes from Billings, Montana. It is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I thought at this point I'd be way past Montana, into Wyoming, and maybe through a little bit of South Dakota. That's obviously not the case. We start driving again. In my mind, we're good because it's just a heating thing. Once we level out, it'll be no problem. But now, VANessa is having an issue of on straightaway. She's giving the thing. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, VANessa? I'm starting to get mad at her. I'm starting to yell at the vehicle, which I should never do.
Right.
Because they're trying their best.
Mm-hmm.
I pull over to a rest stop 15 miles outside of Billings, Montana, and I've quit. The game's over for me. I turn on the Jenny. I have the AC pumping. I'm in the top little part where my little bed is. I'm tucked in, tarp off, just some underwear on, and I'm just looking at my phone, wondering what the hell have I gotten myself into? How am I going to get out of here? 10 minutes go by, nothing. I got the engine up. The little hood from the engine is up. It's sitting there. 15 minutes goes by. 20 minutes goes by. I'm like, I might as well take a nap, and then we'll figure out a way to get to Billings, and we'll fly home tomorrow. All of a sudden, there's a knock on the exterior of the van. We're at a rest stop, and butt fuck nowhere. I'm thinking to myself, the bad sevens have finally caught up to me. Your boy's going down. And I'm yelling timber. So I get out of my little crow's nest, dude. I go through, I open up the door. I cruise around the corner, and there's this unsuspecting gentleman he's got a little bit of a Will Compton pre-veneer teeth thing going on. He's got a little bit of weather to his face, but you can see that the man's been there. He's been doing it. And he goes, what seems to be the problem? And I go, well, all the things I've already told all of you fine people as I've been talking. It does this when I'm going uphill, and if I get over 55 miles an hour, it starts bogging on me. And as I'm starting to tell him all these things, he goes, oh, and it does this, and it does that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking, yeah, this guy knows exactly what he's talking about. I'm like, how do you know? He goes, oh, I lived in Alaska for 2 years with the same exact van. I know the issues you run into. So I'm just
same exact van. Oh my God.
I'm going to help you. I'm ready to pack it in. This man, Keith, pulls out it's like a Chevy Volt or something like that, dude. Opens the back and starts pulling out tool machines like it's fucking like clowns coming out of a little car in a circus. He has all these tools, all these things. But the caveat to this whole thing is he's making me take off and move all the stuff so I can learn. In my head, I'm like, just give me the damn fish. You don't need to teach me how to fish right now. I just need to get this shit done so I can get home. He has me taking this little small part off. It's the gas filter. I pull that, and he says, if that's hard to blow into, then it's the gas filter. If not, you probably have a gas pump issue or even more issues after that. I end up getting this thing off. It takes me way longer than anybody would ever expect to take gas filter off. I get it off. I blow into it. Clear as a whistle. Not a problem in the entire world. So the guy goes, well, it's probably your gas pump. You go into town. Everything's closed right now in the morning. You shouldn't have an issue. And the only way to find out if it's really the gas pump is just drive 30 miles an hour on the highway or drive 30 miles an hour for 15 minutes. And if you have any issues with the engine, then it's not the gas pump. It's something more intense. But if nothing happens, that wear and tear, it'll be totally then it's like saying all things are pointed towards the gas pump. I had this dude named Keith. He's literally a godsend. Shout out Keith along the way of this whole thing. Unbelievable gentleman. Literally out of nowhere. I go, why'd you
prepare my entire life for this moment?
Yeah. I go, why'd you stop for us? He goes, oh, I got to be in Cheyenne by tonight, but I was just driving past and I saw you guys. So I got off the highway at the last exit and drove back this way. And I thought I'd just help out real quick.
Oh my God, man.
Keith,
Shout
dude,
out
what a
Keith,
fucking
bro.
G. So
that's the MVP of the trip.
Oh, just wait, buddy. Just fucking wait, because we're not done yet. We finally get to Billings. We go 30 miles an hour on the highway, getting wind vortexed by every single semi-truck there possibly can be. Because it's a big, busy day for semi-trucks on Sunday. Apparently, they don't go to church. I get to Billings. We know it's now the gas pump. I sent out a Hail Mary text that all of you saw, like, hey, if anybody's in Billings, could help me out, blah, blah, blah. The amount of numbers that came in, DMs, to give love to the boy was unbelievable. You people were unreal. What do you mean, you people? You people were unbelievable. Sending those DMs helped me out. This gentleman, his name is David. David said, hey, I'm working at a Chevy dealership. We can definitely help you out tomorrow. We open at 7 a.m. I said, bud, I'll see you then. Stop at BW, get myself some Parmesan garlic wings because your boy's feeling a little defeated and we need to eat our feelings around here. Go over to this RV village, which just screamed assault. It was a terrifying place. I'm 6'7", 310 pounds, and I thought someone's gonna try to take me tonight. That's how bad it is at these little RV spots.
Yeah.
I plug in, I get about 6 hours of sleep, which is the most I'll get the rest of this trip, and go see my man. Go to the Chevy dealership. The boys are fucking hyped that I'm there. I send out a little tweet, hey, if anybody wants to come and say what's up while I'm here, you're more than welcome to. I'm at this place, blah, blah, blah. Dudes start flocking in. The cops start coming to see me. This dude looking like a cop's cop, dude. He's got a fucking hard fade, that big little fucking wisp over the side, sleeve tattoo, and a chew. I talked to my man for 15 minutes plus, didn't spit once. The guy's a fucking stud. So he's talking to me. He's a big guy. He's a big Bussin With The Boys guy. Now, another gentleman came to see me as well. He's got red hair and a red beard. I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but he was so incredibly nice. He brought Sour Patch Kid watermelons, which not just the bag, but like a family-sized fucking bag of this. He also brought me sour Skittles, which he said, I know it's your tier 2, but I got it for you. Brings me a loaf of cinnamon bread. And he's like, hey, anytime you're in Montana, this is the shit. Like, you need to try this stuff. Unreal. And brings me a bottle of Montana whiskey.
Legend.
And I'm like, dude, thank you so much. This is unreal. He leaves 45 minutes later, comes back and he goes, hey man, I was super starstruck before, but like I'm calm now. I'm like, all right, cool. He goes, I brought you something else. And he gives me a fucking Montana belt buckle that is so fucking, it was just super dope of him to do. And he gave it to us for the ride. It was unreal. Now, back to the vehicle. They figure out real close. My man Stu is the general parts manager there. He's been working there for about 23 years. Stu is a fucking stud. He looks like exactly like you think he would look, but he is a fucking stud. He rolls that vehicle around back. He starts ripping and going and getting all these things done. He goes, yeah, it's the gas pump. No problem. We'll order one right now. They order the gas pump. Someone goes to the auto shop, grabs it, brings it back. Wrong gas pump. No biggie, just another 30 minutes off my drive. I'll be all right. These boys are helping me out big time. They go, they get the auto part. They grab it, they come back, still, and it's the same one. It's wrong. They didn't do it right. So I tell my boy David Point, I believe his name is. I'm like, hey, just give me the thing. I'll go pick it up. They hooked me up with a nice Chevy Silverado. Your boy's in the vehicle. Felt great to be able to drive over 50. Cruise over there, get the part, come back. They slap that baby on there like, you'll be out of here in 15 minutes, bud. No problem. They turn the vehicle on. Now the vehicle doesn't even want to turn on. We got issues, squad. So here's the deal for those of you who don't know carbureted engines. The gas pump pumps gas into the carburetor, which allows all the pistons and shit to work. Okay. So when the carburetor isn't working and the gas pump is, it won't even turn on. So what they told me is you need to redo the entire car. Either get a part for tomorrow, a carburetor tomorrow, and put it in, or they can rebuild the entire carburetor. They rebuild the entire carburetor in a day. It takes them till 6 p.m. at night. So I get a hotel, I crank myself off a nice little workout, get about a 2-hour nap.
And crank one off for real too?
I did.
Yeah, let's go.
When you're stressed, baby, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Now this story gets interesting.
So the boys finally hook it up, dude. 6 p.m. gets done. And I'm out of there at 6:30. 20 minutes down the road, same fucking shit in the van starts happening again, dude. I am fucking livid. I call David. He's got my personal line at this point. Call him. He calls Stu. Stu goes, hey, carbureted engine, 90 degrees. It's going to happen like that. Just keep on fucking going, which is music to my ears. Run her till she's dead, boys. That's what you got to fucking do in a carbureted engine. I start going. Sure enough, the weather breaks under 90, and it's smooth fucking sailing until your boy gets to South Dakota. I'm in the reservation. It is, by the way, we need to do I'm not going to get into my details, but the reservation, we need to start being a little bit nicer. We need to start helping stuff out because it's a fucking not a good look for us as Americans.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not a good deal. There is in South Dakota, not a whole lot, but what there is a whole lot of wind. So as I'm driving, there is 55-mile-an-hour crosswinds and no one on the road. I turn off the lights at one point on a straightaway just to see how dark it was. You can't see a fucking thing. There is nothing out there. I stop off. I have a video I'll give to you guys that you guys can put up. The wind is insane. I am on the vehicle. I'm straddling the white line and getting pushed left to right in 55-mile-an-hour winds on a 2-lane highway. So I'm taking all of this road. There's no cars anywhere to be found. Semi-trucks are parked over on the side because it's too windy. We're top heavy as well, but we're not near as heavy, which is a huge issue. And ended up stopping at this place called Murrah, South Dakota, behind this shitty little area. It was god awful, and got about 2 hours of sleep. From there, get back on the road. We're cruising and bruising, dude. I stop in Nebraska. I think from this point forward, we're fucking good. I'm in the show me state. Let's fucking do this, dude. I go through Omaha, get about 20 miles in, starts bogging on me a little bit. I decide at this point, I'm not going below a half a tank. That's not gonna happen from here on out. I stop at this place, let her cool down because it's the dead of heat. It's about 97 degrees outside. People in Nebraska, nice as can be. Get myself some little barbecue at a gas station. Shit my pants about 20 minutes later. That's okay. Ate the food.
Did you say go Big Red?
If someone were to say it to me, I would have said it back. Out of just being nice.
Right.
So these people, wow, I'm fucking running out of words here. We get back to the gas pump. We check the oil, everything. And now there's like a cloud. Not an actual cloud, but there's like a cloud in the area. And this fucking Charlotte's Web looking fucking emo, thicker, pale, witch looking girl is kind of like circling the van. Spooktober. She's just from me to JP, which is 10 feet, as I'm in the van by myself, staring at me, smiling, winking, doing all the cliches, come fuck me vibes. All the cliches. I'm like, yo, what is this chick doing? She waddles over to the side of the vehicle and asks me if I have a lighter. I said, no, ma'am, don't have a lighter. Sorry. In my head, I'm like, what are you smoking near a gas station anyway? I'm a responsible adult. There's no way I'm going to do that. She gets a lighter from the other dudes that are right next to her. She walks away. She's about 2 pumps down, but she keeps turning and giving the boy them eyes. And I'm like, dear God, I thought
you've been on the road for a minute, so you're kind of,
yeah, you know, hey, I'm a trucker now. That's my lot lizard.
Camp eyes a little bit.
My lot lizard, dude. I'm thinking I might have to, because if not, she'll put a spell on me. That's kind of what I'm feeling.
That's a fair thought. That's
she
a
looks
good
everything
thought.
like a witch, dude. I called her the Black Widow because she'll probably eat you after she's done fucking you.
So what'd you do?
So we check the oil. As I'm checking the oil, she kind of creeps up behind Jason. I can see her in my peripheral vision. She's just standing there as if she was checking the oil with us the entire time. I get back in the vehicle and she walks up. She goes, can you guys give me a ride? Dude, I'm 6'7", I'm 310 pounds of tattoos over my body. And Jason's got a bald head and a little bit of chin hair. He looks like, you know, probably wears pillowcases over his head sometimes. You're going to ask for a ride from these two dudes. You're going to ask for a ride from us. But what do you think, like, you're just asking for? Where are your parents, young lady? I tell her, no, I got to pick up my wife. And she goes, what? I got to pick up my kids from Sunday school. Totally flip my script on everything. So you
wanted to leave the door open. So you wanted to change it up. Not my wife, my kids. I got to pick up my kids.
Bro, she fucking rolls her eyes at me and turns and walks away. I couldn't instead of warming up the van at all, I fucking turned that bitch on and we ripped out of there, dude. 10 hours and 52 minutes later, your boy's laying his head down in Nashville, Tennessee. 2,371 miles. It was an absolute fucking deal going through all of that. It was too much. Probably won't ever do it again. But fuck, I love that van. And that's the story. Thank you. Suck it, little boys.
That was what, 25? I think that was 25 minutes.
Holy shit, dude. That was too much.
Gift of gab. You're a great storyteller.
Were you with there? Were you interested the whole time?
Like, yeah, because that was the second time I've heard it. So there's a couple times like it's been a longer day, so I was getting a little like sleepy. But yeah, you're a very good storyteller.
Thanks, bud.
No, I didn't mean that like a backhanded compliment. I'm just saying like I was in it the whole time, and I looked around at the boys, and the boys, you hear them laughing throughout the entire
I was on his computer for the most part.
Just working.
You just knew he was about to have the floor, and this was going to be like that could be a movie. I literally the entire time like I'm picturing stuff in my head. You painted a phenomenal picture.
I was thinking about getting it animated.
Right. I was thinking that too. Like I like Spittin' Chicklets will animate their stories. They could easily. The way you were painting some of that picture, just the fucking hue of the shadows behind the van with the orange stripe and everything else. What'd you say, Manila?
Yeah.
With the flower wallpaper and the carpet, like
gorgeous.
Green, brown, and whatever you said. Grandparents fucking, like you can literally, you can put yourself in this van.
Will was listening for the first 3 minutes.
You can literally smell what that van smells like and I still haven't been in it.
Old grandpa.
I'd like to think that the Dirty Sevens
The old, the bad sevens.
Bad
Bad
sevens.
sevens. I like to think that what they were trying to do by circling around you is they're all like spitballing like what the issue was for the van, and if you had jumped out, they would have fixed it in like 3 minutes, and you would have made it all the way.
But
home.
instead, he just sat there like this, so they just laughed, and I'm like, okay, I think this
And
guy's a little
you
freaked
drove
out.
off, and they're like, "Hey, like no, you needed this part," and they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, whatever," and they just ride off into their night.
Like,
Yeah,
hey,
dude,
let's
there
go
was
help this guy. They start walking. He just takes off going, no, get out of here, get out of here. Like, hey, we got it. All right.
We got it. All right. Dude, it was a crazy ride. It was a crazy ride. It was so
And
much
fucking
fun.
Keith.
Shout out Keith.
There's a
dude.
hero that shows up in
MVP.
every story, in every movie.
It was him.
Keith was that guy. Like, every hero starts to doubt, like, all right, let's pack it in, let's give up. They all want to stop, right?
Yeah.
But there's always somebody, some mentor that comes in the middle of the story that sparks that new flame.
It
And
was
that's
incredible.
Keith, bro.
Yeah, it was Keith. Incredible, dude. Crazy amount of fans in Billings. I was getting like DMs from like local Billings news channels to
That's
do interviews.
phenomenal, bro. I saw when you put
I
that
was
tweet
like,
out.
listen.
I was like, I'm gonna retweet it. Who knows how many people's actually out where he's at?
I had friends.
If somebody can help the boy, like,
Bro, there was so many dudes, and it was like my DMs were, I think after an hour, like there was like 200, and I was just going through it, and I saw one that said Chevy, and I was like, that's the most reliable shit you can ask for. It was unreal. I got a picture outside the Chevy, like of everybody, like the sales team and the mechanics and the van and the big Chevy sign in the back, dude.
that's
It
a team
is-
effort.
Oh, bro, it was bitching. And the dudes, the sales team, they had this thicker hula girl, little bobbling hula girl, and they gave me as a present for their
Nice.
drive. And she had a little Sharpie
Little
black
parting
eye.
gift.
Yeah, it was a little parting gift, dude. So fucking what was it? Danny Menholt or Denny Menholt Chevrolet in Billings, Montana. If I ever go to Billings again, which the answer is probably not, but if I ever am, I'm gonna stop by and say what's up to the boys.
So
They were unreal.
It's fair to say these tier ones and tier twos created and welcomed some new fans of the podcast, probably. 'Cause
Yes.
what I'm picturing is if they had to build a carburetor and everything else, like your van was there all day, and there's probably a lot of other people locally that got their vehicle pushed back on the back burner because everybody was all hands
bro.
on deck for the van.
At one point, every single mechanic was circling around my van. There, no other vehicle was getting worked on. When I first pulled up, it was like you sound like a fucking NASCAR pit stop in that thing, dude. Guys working, rolling, doling. Everybody's wiping their hands every chance they can get. They're getting after it.
Yeah.
And then like 30 minutes into my van being there, they were all about it, dude. I had my helmet with me, fucking letting dudes try it on and stuff like
The
that.
Titans
Oh
helmet?
yeah. Letting the
Put
boys
this
be a
on.
part of it, dude.
No, he's not just a football. He's got this podcast too.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
And the crazy thing is, the dude that helped me out, Davey, he wasn't even really a fan of the pod or the Titans. He was a Vikings fan. He's like, I don't even know about the podcast. I'll check it out. His boy, who's a Colts fan, hit him up and was like, yo, this dude, blah, 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 Bussin' With The Boys, Titans player. He needs help. And that's how it, word of mouth.
A Colts fan, a rival.
Colts fan.
That's
Yes.
being for the boys. That right there is an example of what being for the boys is out.
It's
We
a-
can root for our teams in the season,
Yeah,
but outside of the game, outside of those white lines, dude, you're for the boys.
all time. The shit was all time, dude.
That was a great story.
I appreciate that. I was wondering if I was losing you guys at all.
Did you ever feel like you were?
Yeah, at one point, I was like, I just need to trudge through this a little bit. Like, we just
You,
need to go.
you got us stuck. We were in K Town for a while. I was like, oh man, when are we gonna get on the road? It's like we're gonna hit the road here.
Bro, just that getting that van ready for the ride was a fucking story in its own. It was ridiculous. But I love that thing. And you know what? Right now, if I went in my backyard, I turned that thing on, it would start up no problem. VANessa is all time.
Welcome to the family, VANessa.
I can't tell you that. When you pull into my house, though, you'll see it right away.